Oh, that's some creepy lighting. Look at that. Fucking perfect. Oh yeah. That's what you want. Thought I was fucking something up. I wasn't. We're gonna start welding up these struts. Again, the tire wouldn't fit. The new tire wouldn't fit because I measured everything with the old tire, which was almost bald. The sissy bar is no more, so I gotta weld on these struts. It's just 2 new holes on the fender. I will eventually cut up that sissy bar that's in the back and get it to fit on here because I like the way it looked. This is gonna be a fix for now. But now I have some clearance, and I pretty much put the handle of a screwdriver under here. I'm gonna weld these on where it's at, and the tire spins freely once I remove the screwdriver. So that should be the problem solver. So without further ado, I'm gonna turn the welder on and get to welding. Okay, so basically the plan here is, like you just saw, tack this on, and then I'm gonna cut up here to where it fits underneath the bung. So this is gonna get cut so it fits up under the bung here. So it's a straight line, it'll hold the fender on. Same mounting points as the sissy bar, just a little bit better for my fuck up. It's kind of a tight fit down here, and I got some big fingers. All right, so it's marked. You can see right there. So I'm gonna cut that, go ahead and weld this all the way around. These tacks look like shit, but I'm gonna grind them off and paint this anyway. Look at that. Fucking perfect. Alright, this is the other side. I'm going to go ahead and get this one welded up, and then same thing. So that's tacked. Now I'm going to wait to weld this whole thing on. I'm going to take the back wheel off, get the other side done first, take the back wheel off, take this off one at a time and weld them. And then once they're both welded, I'm going to clean up the welds. I'm just going to paint these black. The back end should be good. Other side. Okay, now, in theory, I should be able to pull this screwdriver out, jack the bike up just enough to get the back wheel off, and it should spin freely. See? Oh yeah. That's what you want. Perfect. Alright, so now I'm going to get, again, axle taken out, wheel off, and then I'm going to weld these struts the rest of the way up, clean them up, paint them. That whole issue's done. So I've been having a brake caliper issue. What I thought was an 86 to 99 brake caliper, which is what you need for the TC Bros kit. That's what I thought I had bought off of a guy on Marketplace. Was not. Basically what happened was I bought these pads, some NHC, Center, just whatever brake pads, for an 86 to 99 Sportster rear caliper. Did not fit. I thought I was fucking something up. I wasn't. Turns out I have an 82 to 87 caliper, which apparently is almost the exact same thing as the 86 to 99 because there's like a year overlap there. The mount is pretty much the same, but the actual pads are vastly different. The pads that I bought don't fit in the mount at all. They're too wide. So yeah, I've been racking my brain for about 3 or 4 days since I got those pads, trying to figure out how to get them to fit, thinking I was screwing something up. But I found the pads I need, and as soon as those get here, I can bleed the brakes we'll put the pads in, bleed the brakes, get the rest of this shit mounted up, and then the whole rear end will be done. Now that I got the struts done, the brakes will be done, fluid in there, the brake switch is already done, and then shit, we're well on our way to having this thing on the road. I'm having a little bit of a chain clearance issue with the battery box, but I'm going to fix that here very shortly. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast sometimes. As you probably have heard or seen, my oil tank is a little too close to my exhaust for my liking. So, I got some heat wrap, a can of water, some gloves, some shears. I'm going to get this stuff wrapped. Now, I was going to opt for some purple wrap. I found some, but all the reviews said it fades almost instantly, which makes sense. And I've used titanium wrap in the past. It does not fade. Black was another option, but that stuff fades as well. This is the rear cylinder tube, the rear cylinder pipe. I'm basically going to wrap from up here down to down here. I'm not going to do the whole pipe. I'm going to leave this chrome exposed. There's nothing near here that's going to cause or have any adverse effects to the heat. And then the same with this pipe. This is of course the front cylinder. I'm just going to wrap from up here down to the larger diameter and leave this chrome. Same thing, there's nothing in here that's going to cause any issues with some heat. This one doesn't really need wrap. There's nothing in the way, but it would look stupid to just do one, so I'm just going to go ahead and do them both. If you've never wrapped exhaust before, it's real easy. You just got to take your time, make sure you get a good overlap, soak it before you start wrapping. Keeps the fibers from getting in the air, keeps you from breathing that shit in. You're going to get it start soaking, and then we're going to start wrapping. Alright, there goes one down. Now the other one. That's the exhaust wrapped. That was easy. If you're ever wondering how much exhaust wrap to buy, that was 2 inches by 50 feet. And I still have quite a bit left over, and I screwed up the first one, so 50 feet's more than enough for pretty much any pipe, as long as it's not like a 5 foot long upswept fishtail pipe or some shit. Again, if you've never done it before, just take your time, make sure you get a good overlap on every run. Preferably get some hose clamps, not these fucking bullshit things. Alright, don't mind my shaved face. Let me give you a quick update of the last big thing I gotta do on here. Alright, so battery box. The chain's rubbing, so basically I'm gonna cut pretty much a 1/2 inch off of this side, and then I'm gonna cut this edge off so the whole battery can just slide over about a 1/2 inch or an inch or so. And I'm gonna fab up a little bracket. Shouldn't be too hard, but this is a big issue, and it's really the last issue I have. So I'm going to bust out the grinder and my oscillating tool and get this bitch chopped up real quick. Alright, so both sides are cut off, so now I can scoot the battery all the way to the left. The chain has more than enough clearance now with part of this side of the box cut off. So basically all I'm going to do now is clean this up. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of black spray paint just to kind of match everything, and then I'll start getting everything put back together. And And that was really the last big issue on this bike. Now it's just going to be buttoning it up and pretty much getting it on the road. Alright, so I got everything sanded down so there's no sharp edges on it. I got it painted to protect it from rust and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and get fender, the seat, and the wheel put back on. Go ahead and throw the chain on, make sure everything has good clearance now, which obviously was the main reason I did this. If everything's good, I'm going to go ahead and do the last of the brakes, bleeding the brakes, and then if that all goes well, maybe take this thing for a spin. Should be the last thing I got to do before, you know, of course there's going to be tweaks here and there, but yeah, that should be the last major issue I have here. So we'll go ahead and time lapse through getting everything installed back. Yeah, so this has enough clearance now. So yeah, this has enough clearance now with the battery box, but the chain's still too long. So it's dragging on the battery box, what's left of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this chain to size with a chain breaker tool. All right, so I got an RK chain breaker tool, borrowed it from a friend of mine. Super easy to use, 17 millimeter and a 14 millimeter wrench is all you need. Rivet style, you need a little bit more, but this is just a master or a clip master link. All right, so got the link we want. Now we're just going to take this 14 mil, drive it through, and it'll punch out the rivet holding the chain in place. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, but not much. There we go. There's the rivet. Now this will back all the way out on its own. There we go. Chain's off. Now I only cut one link off of this. You can see it's already tighter, a lot tighter. And I'm actually going to use the axle bolts, or the tightening bolts for the axle to tighten this the rest of the way down. And it should have more than enough tension for this thing to be a nice ride without having to deal with chain slap or anything. I probably have about, I don't know, an inch or so of clearance to the maxed out rear position of the axle, which is exactly what I wanted because I wanted this to be as long as it could be. There we go. Master link's back on. Now let's tighten this thing up. So yeah, only cut off one piece. There we go. Clearance all the way around. Perfect.